So interesting today as well. We'll note that the Prince of Wales is attending the state opening of Parliament's Day for the first time in 17 years, in fact, in a move indicating his growing role supporting the Queen in her official duties. Charles and the Duchess of Cornwall will attend the opening together for the first time today. Charles previously accompanied the Queen to the occasion at the Palace of Westminster 11 times, but as I say, not since 1996. So let's get a view on this now. Please say, joined live on the line by Rafe Heydel-Mankoo, who's a royal commentator, historian, and of course a protocol expert. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
How significant is it today that the Duchess of Cornwall will be attending and sitting next to the Queen, in fact?
I think there's a great degree of symbolic significance here. I mean, what we've seen since last year, really, the Diamond Jubilee, has been a clear attempt to ensure that the public see a more higher profile presence of the royal couple with the Queen, in order to ease the eventual transition when the Prince of Wales and the Duchess to take over the roles of the Queen and Prince Philip. And we have to realise the Queen has just turned 87, and Prince Philip will be 92 next month. And so we're going to see, certainly in terms of a lot of state ceremonial, that being passed over to the Prince of Wales, and that's happening already with investitures. It's been announced, as we know, that for the first time Prince Charles will go to open the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. And this is just basically a way to make sure that the smooth transition of monarchy continues in the way that it's done for centuries.
I just think it's interesting, is it not, Rafe, how we think about decisions that are made are often, of course, thought about how the public, how you and I will react to it. Because I'm just trying to recall a few years back when Camilla certainly was having a lot of negative headlines in the press. I'm talking about quite a few years back. It's interesting how I think times have changed.
Yes, well, the Duchess of Cornwall had a great degree of flack in the media, most of it wholly undeserved, in my opinion. And what we've seen really over the course of the last 10, 15 years has been a more realistic rebalancing of public perceptions. And the Duchess of Cornwall's popularity ratings have never been higher. The public, once they get to know her, have found her to be a warm and in many respects, the perfect consort for a future king. And certainly, if we look at the Queen Mother, she lived to a ripe old age, and we have no reason to believe that the Queen, who's in very robust health despite her recent hospital visits, and she'll be with us, God willing, for 10, if not 15 years, and that's entirely reasonable, by which point I'm sure that Camilla will have risen even higher in terms of her acceptability to the public.
Now, I want to ask you one more question. It's, of course, about the ceremony itself. It is steeped in tradition. I'm just looking at the different bits of information in front of me about the kind of things that go on, including the yeomen of the guards, the oldest of the royal bodyguards, armed with lanterns, still search the cellars of the Palace of Westminster, a practice which dates back to the gunpowder plot of November the 5th, 1605. Just one interesting little fact there. Is there anything else that you find would like to tell my listeners about that is interesting in terms of the ceremony today?
Well, it's the only time that we will get to see the entire British Constitution present in one place. Unlike the Americans, we don't have a written piece of paper. And so in the Lord's Chamber, you will have, for the only time ever, the Crown in Parliament. So you'll have the Commons, the Lords, the Monarch, the ministers forming the executive part of government, the judges forming the judiciary, all there. And Black Rod, who's the Queen's representatives, will go to summon the members of the House of Commons and will have the door slammed in his face, and he'll have to knock 3 times with his black rod to have them to open it. And that's to show that the Crown is the source of all power, but it's Parliament and the elected people who are actually the ones who run the country. But it's a lesson in humility to our Prime Minister to say, we've given you these title deeds to power, but it's actually the Crown from which power emanates, and we are looking after the interests of the people, so don't overstep the mark. And I think that's an important lesson for the public to see.
Listen, thank you so much for your time. And
thank you very much.
Your opinions as well this morning. Rafe Heydel-Mankoo, their royal commentator, historian and protocol expert. It certainly will be fascinating to watch and listen in on, of course, as we will do that here on LBC News 11:52. It's 9:41. Travel-wise, what's happening now, Ross Powell?
Thank you very much. Well, for the state opening of Parliament, lots of road closures have now gone in the area. Whitehall is closed off, as is Parliament Square, Millbank and Horse Guards Road. If you're going towards the M25, there are queues anti-clockwise at junction 10 for the Wisley interchange. A broken down vehicle on the exit slip is causing